Now, breaking news from CBS 17 News.
We start with a breaking news update. A local family doctor behind bars tonight accused of sex crimes against children.
Now, we first told you about this arrest tonight at 6. New at 11, CBS 17's Mackenzie Stasko is working to find out more about Dr. Craig Stevens. Mackenzie.
Well, Marius, we know that Apex police arrested 54-year-old Craig Stevens earlier today. They charged him with 4 counts of first-degree sexual exploitation and 2 counts of indecent liberties with a child. Now, Stevens lives in Apex where he was arrested, but we know that he works as a family doctor and owns a private practice in Cary called Premier Health at Triangle Family Care. According to his website, Stevens has been a doctor for over 25 years, and on that website he also lists photography as one of his hobbies. Now, I called the office manager earlier today. She tells me she did not know Stevens was arrested and declined to comment further. I also stopped by Stevens' house. The lights were on, but no one answered the door. Now, police tell us that this is an ongoing investigation. We are working to find out how many victims there are and if they may have been one of his patients. Right now, Stevens is behind bars here at the Wake County Detention Center on $500,000 bond. For now, live in Wake County, Mackenzie Stasko, CBS 17 News.
Mackenzie, thank you. The men behind the burning of the Market House in Fayetteville pleaded guilty. According to court documents, Charles Pittman pled guilty to malicious burning of a building and inciting a riot. Andrew Garcia Smith pled guilty to malicious burning of a building only. Pittman was caught on camera waving around a gas canister and pouring what appeared to be gas on the floor of the building. Garcia Smith was seen on video throwing a bottle of flammable liquid. Some of that liquid got on him, and he caught on fire. They both face mandatory minimum sentences of 5 years.
More than 800 reported shootings so far this year in Durham. That's a 30% increase from this time last year. With shootings on the rise, members of Bull City United say they need more violence interrupters. The city's 6-member team is made up of people who have ties to these troubled communities. They often hear when there are problems on the streets, and then they go out and try to serve as mediators and prevent future shootings. But right now, funding only allows them to cover 2 neighborhoods, and they say it's time to expand.
The team is only so big, and so a lot of stuff happening outside of our target areas. Approximately 500 shootings that are outside of our area. And so that's why I said that we're always looking to expand so we can actually bring numbers down.
The number of shootings in the 2 target areas they cover dropped by 28% from 2016 to 2018. Right now, the city is still in discussions about possibly entering a partnership with the county to expand this program. For the 3rd time in 3 days, investigators with the Wake County Sheriff's Office responded to Rutledge Landing subdivision. Tensions are high after a double homicide and then shots fired into a home. CBS 17's Amy Cutler live at the Sheriff's Office. And Amy, investigators say the 2 incidents could be connected.
That's right, Marius, and the sheriff tells me that they are still trying to really sort this out. He explains that family members of someone interviewed in connection with the double homicide live at the home the shots were fired into. Investigators with the Wake County Sheriff's Office spent the day canvassing the Rutledge Landing subdivision off Pool Road. They're looking for anyone who might have information about Tuesday's double homicide.
I'm worried. Yes, I am.
Deputies say children playing near Topping Lane noticed 2 men inside a black SUV weren't moving and alerted authorities. Investigators tell me they'd been shot and killed inside that vehicle. Sheriff Gerald Baker wouldn't identify them, but he tells me they live in the area. Any idea what they were doing parked in the car?
No, we're putting that together, too.
Then about a block away, Wednesday night, shots were fired into this home on Sweetgrass Street. Baker says they could be connected. No one was injured.
I heard some gunshots, and it came from that direction.
Donald Laws says he didn't think much of it because in this community, that's a common occurrence.
They could have injured, killed the lady that lived there if she had children.
Before his wife died, Laws tells me she bought these 2 signs and hung them up in front of their home, hoping to prevent anyone who might consider breaking in. I brought those concerns to the sheriff. What would you say to him?
Well, again, we're looking for that help from the community.
Family and friends of those two men killed gathering at the scene of the shooting. Now, there was a third report just tonight of someone firing into homes in this same subdivision. Investigators tonight telling me that was unfounded. Again, anyone with information has to give the sheriff's office a call. Live in Raleigh, Amy Cutler, CBS 17 News.
Amy, thank you. Tonight, we are still waiting on numbers from Nevada, Pennsylvania, Georgia, and North Carolina to find out who will serve as president of the United States. Here's a closer look at the presidential electoral vote count. The candidate that gets 270 wins the election. Right now, former Vice President Joe Biden is just 6 electoral votes away from taking it. That's according to the Associated Press numbers. Arizona has 11 electoral votes. Now, because of the outstanding ballots, there are some races in our state still undecided tonight. One of those is the U.S. Senate seat for North Carolina. Right now, Republican incumbent Thom Tillis has a lead over his Democratic challenger Cal Cunningham with 48.7% of the vote. More than 96,000 votes separate the two. In the race for Attorney General, incumbent Josh Stein has the lead over Republican Jim O'Neill. That race only separated by more than 10,000 votes. Now, one race that's been decided is for the lieutenant governor. Mark Robinson defeated Yvonne Hawley, becoming the state's first black lieutenant governor. New at 11, CBS 17's Nick Sturdivant talked to Robinson about how he went from a viral video sensation to the state capitol in less than 3 years. Nick.
Yeah, Angela, he went viral a couple of years ago at a Greensboro City Council meeting defending his gun rights. He's a first-time politician, and while he has a lot of support, there are concerns over his rhetoric and posts on social media. He says he's just an ordinary guy.
Our system was not designed in order to give elites and so-called the privileged class control of this nation.
Mark Robinson is from Greensboro and at one point was a factory worker.
I understand the plight of North Carolinians.
Growing up poor, he was one of 10 children, eventually ending up in foster care. In 2018, he received national attention after an impassioned speech in support of the Second Amendment at a Greensboro City Council meeting.
I didn't want to be a person who just complained about the system.
However, he's rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. Kerwin Pittman is an activist based in Raleigh.
My concerns are particularly what he stands for. This is somebody who has said numerous times that he does not believe systemic racism exists. This is a man who is homophobic, Islamophobic.
He says his concerns are not just about his policies, but also what he's posted on social media. Robinson says, yes, he has strong opinions, but that it won't impact how he does the job.
Many of the things that I've written on social media were simply my opinions. They're not something I'm going to take into office.
Will you really sit in that seat to make a change, or will you just enforce these negative opinions?
I am willing to bring all voices to the table, to listen to every opinion.
And you guys, Robinson has been very critical of Governor Roy Cooper, but he says he's willing to reach out and willing to work on any issue, but says that he will not compromise on his principles. Live tonight in Raleigh, Nick Sturdivant, CBS 17 News.
Nick, thank you. Governor Roy Cooper says he hopes the politics will be taken out of the pandemic response now that the election is over. The governor gave his first update on COVID-19 today since re-election. Next week, he'll decide whether to extend phase 3 of reopening again. Right now, the governor says the numbers are too high going into the winter, though the state has not seen a huge spike.
Wearing a mask, whether you did it or not, seemed to be a political statement. Now we don't have to worry about that, and hopefully we can move forward with science and facts and making sure that we're protecting the health and safety of North Carolinians.
State health officials plan to release guidance in the next few days on safely celebrating the upcoming holidays.
COVID-19 has taken a big hit on the state's tourism economy, specifically business travel. The state has lost $9 billion in visitor spending since March 1st, which means $300 million in lost revenue. That's according to a report this week from Visit NC. However, leisure tourism, visiting the state's mountains and beaches, did get a big boost this summer.
We had probably one of the strongest rebounds, I think, in the country as far as our tourism market in the summer. And part of that is people, wanted to get outside, and we had beautiful beaches they could go to. We had great trails and parks.
But without business travelers, visitor spending is obviously down. Visit NC says experts don't expect a full return to normal, including international travel and large-scale events, until 2023.
This technology is pretty amazing, and I would rank it very high in helping us solve cases.
Doorbell cameras make us feel a lot better in our homes, but just who's watching your home? Next at 11, consumer investigator Steve Frazier looks at how the footage is regulated and who can access it once you release it.
And we've come a long way this week considering temperatures. Monday's highs were actually very close to our current temperatures tonight at 11 o'clock. And the warm up continues this weekend. I'll tell you how warm it's going to get, and we'll update you on Ada, about ready to head for the Gulf of Mexico in just a few minutes.